respected Vice Chancellor, Pro-Vice Chancellor, Registrar, Dean, the Faculty of Science and Humanities, all the heads of departments, the faculty members on the dais and down below, the dear parents and well-wishers, and most importantly, the reason why we are all here, my dear students who have enrolled over here and embarking on the next phase of your academic journey post your school into this excellent institution, SRM Institute of Science and Technology. It indeed gives me personally a great pride, privilege to be the chief guest. It's a great honor for your induction program, for both your postgraduate and your graduate studies in this wonderful institution. I must thank the Vice Chancellor and his team for this great honor. And for the information of the house, learning is ever long. I'll talk about it. I am also a student of the same faculty, by the way, and I'm pursuing higher studies even in this day. So it's something that I feel very, very proud of. And I also have extended this to beyond your faculty, beyond your campus. So my own officer cadets were there in OTA Chennai. I have got them also enrolled over here in the same faculty in your beloved institution for a diploma in IT and cybersecurity, because I think learning needs to be wholesome, learning needs to be expansive, and we learn from the best over here. It only adds value to all of us. So it's wonderfully to be connected over here so close, and it's a great privilege, as I mentioned, to be here with you. I think, my dear students, you must consider yourselves to be very, very fortunate to be enrolled over here. The facilities that I have seen for the last 2-3 years that I've been closely connected with SRM. I got connected in this higher studies program around 3 years ago, and from the last 2 years that I came in, I've been here for 2 research days of SRM. I've seen the faculty very close, I've seen your campus very closely, I've seen your facilities up front, and I've seen the students, all of you, your predecessors, and some of you now. I think what Professor Vinay talked about and what the Vice Chancellor talked about, and I'm repeating that, you couldn't be in a better institution. The facilities here are indeed world class. The faculty over here is composed of hand-picked academicians who are icons and revered in their own respective fields. There's so much of space to learn and grow. And what you alluded, the Pro-Vice Chancellor to you and the Vice Chancellor, they've just touched the tip of the iceberg. You'll have to discover it yourself, the 9-10 below, in the immense possibilities for your personal growth, your professional growth in this rich learning environment. Now, having so said that, I have a few pointers for you, which I would like to share, that possibly may help you in your journey ahead. Maybe not so much of your rigorous academic work that you will see along the way, but some generic tips for life and some things that we have learned along the way. As you can see and as you know, all of you all have embarked in your respective curriculums. And as I could make out when I discussed this with the professor before I came over here, you have such diverse fields: computer science, media, literature, biotech, commerce, finance, basic sciences, economics, psychology, defense, disaster management, fashion technology. I mean, the list is endless. The possibilities are so much. And this is why I find it so heartwarming. And why I find it heartwarming was back in the days when we were in school, we possibly did not know much. I come from an ICSE background, 10th standard, Jesuit fathers, in 10th, not much of career counseling. So what we did was 10th science, so we went into 11th science, ISC in Bishop Cotton's Boys School. All of us were preparing for the standard things that all of us prepared for. We must get into IIT or we must get into medicine. So I also started studying for IIT. So I took my Agarwal Foundation course, I took my brilliant courses, started competing with my lot, chemistry, physics, and suddenly NDA exam came, advertisement. I said, let me try this all India exam, it will give me some idea. Fortunately or unfortunately, I cleared the exam, went to SSB, cleared it, and that time we could join the Armed Forces NDA after 11th standard. So I'm not blessed like Vice Chancellors come from blue blood, Sainik School, Amravati Nagar. I had no clue much about army, excepting that I tremendously liked the armed forces, as all of us do. But I was clueless, very naive, very raw, very uncut. But the only thing that I liked from childhood, I used to read a lot of those comics that used to be there. Commando comics, Battle Cry, great authors like Leon Uris, some of those war movies that we grew up with, Great Escape, Operation Daybreak, Guns of Navarone. In fact, I show that every Wednesday to my kids. So they know that Commandant's peculiarity is every Wednesday we must watch war movie with him. Because I'm seeing those movies maybe 3 or 4 times. And they have grown with me and maybe helped me to take that decision that I should join the army. And it's been 4 decades since I passed out from IMA almost. And after 3 years of ND and IMA, and it's been a very wonderful journey, but more of that later. I think here now, as far as you are concerned, to begin with, there's so many wonderful career options that I talked about, not limited to the few that we had. So you need to be focused on a couple of things, as was alluded by the faculty preceding me. You need to be, of course, very much focused on the core thing that you are here for, and that is your studies. So there's no compromise on that. You have come to study, so studies have to be paramount in your life. And you have to be very, very rigorous about it. And I would also tell you it's never too late, but it's never too early. Now is the time for you also to start thinking of your aim in life. First day, first show, or first week, or first month, first year, don't delay it. What do you want to do in life? What do you want to do with fashion technology? What do you want to do with media? What do you want to do with journalism? So many things, computers, whatever. As Professor Vinay mentioned, those possibilities are so much over here. You can take a minor in something. You can make your education so wholesome and expansive that you will have options to choose and not be rigidly defined by a particular school of thought or a particular branch of learning. So that creates a wonderful kind of variety that you have over here. But you have to decide early what you have to choose and you have to go for it. I'll tell you about that. I'm very glad for your parents that they have, possibly with your help, chosen for you to come here. I must share with you that as far as I'm concerned, I did not do quite right for my son initially. I remember he also cleared ICSE 10th and we were discussing, I had to typically get posted out to a difficult area which I couldn't take him in 11th and 12th, and I asked him, no pressure, cleared his exam, did very well in his studies, and he said, what do you want to do now? I have to enroll you in army school. So he wanted to do science, commerce. I thought he had made up his mind. He had not. He did not know what he had to do. He said, I want to weigh my options. I said, you got 24 hours. So we sat on the net together weighing his options for him. So these are my career options in commerce, these are my career options in economics, these are my career options. At the end of it, I closed it. I said, forget it. You seem to be good in science. We'll take science. So I thought for him. I kind of persuaded him. I kind of looked at what he was all about. And he and I have come out quite fine. He does not hold it against me. So he's doing quite well. And I'll talk about that later. I want to talk about the importance of the faculty behind, the importance of mentoring, the importance of soul shaping, and how they are going to be your home away from home. The parents, as Vice Chancellor mentioned, will leave you over here. And then you're here, but you're not away. It's a home away from home, where your faculty, your teachers, your deans, all your instructors over here are going to take you on the next journey with love and care and mentor you. I have something important to talk about that, and I'll tell you. I want to urge you to have a very good routine. If you do not have a routine, you will be lost, because the life will be very fast. And if you don't have a routine, you will be finding yourself not having a compass or a purpose in life. So first thing I told you, you need to have an aim in life, a vision. What am I going to do with this education? What I want to do with it later as a career? You want to start a startup, wonderful opportunity mentioned by Vice Chancellor, entrepreneur. It's fantastic. That is an opportunity. You want to have a corporate career, you want to do something, armed forces, I'll talk about it a little bit since I'm wearing uniform, but so many possibilities are there for you. But you need to know. So that's one. Secondly, in that same shape, what you want to do in your life, 5 years later, 10 years later, 15 years later, slow and sure, start making a plan. But today, and in the 2 years, 3 years that you have an SRM, I would urge you to have a routine. A daily routine, a weekly routine, whatever. Have your schedule. That schedule should include a few things which I have learned and which my officers have learned in the Indian Army and which my cadets are learning now who have also come out from SRM. The other connect that I did not mention to you, I've talked about my own connect, I've talked about my officer cadets in OTA Chennai. I also would like to remind you that many of my officers, my colleagues, my seniors, juniors have got their children who are studying in SRM. Hundreds of them are here in SRM. Many of them have passed out. Many of them are studying like you in SRM and have chosen SRM to be their academic institution that they are going to pass out from. So as far as routine is concerned, you should balance it between your studies. There is time for your studies and time for your personal development. Your hobbies, the clubs that the professor talked about, your mind and body development. It's very, very important. You need to have time for whatever works for you. Some meditation, some yoga, a morning walk, some run, jog. The body is only one. If you don't respect your body, don't keep it fit, you're going to suffer. And it's going to be taunting you, torturing you later in life. When you're young now, in your 20s or teens or whatever, the body is very forgiving, but it adds up in life. And later on you'll find out that it can be devastating. So I would urge each and every one of you to make fitness as a habit. Whatever you want to do, something small, we can talk about that. When I talk about my cadets, what the routine they follow, you need not go into that. You can do something simple, but keep fit. Studies, I told you, a routine to help you prepare every day. Don't cram at the end of it, exams coming up, last minute I have to study. It's a great stress, and that stress can cause the body to react violently. Half the problems we have, heart problem, other problems, is because we do not plan well. We do not space it out. We do not have respect for the schedule, and then it tortures us. So you need to balance it out while enjoying and having fun in the campus as well, for which there's so much of opportunity. You need to have your friends. You need to make friends with many people around you, close friends, buddies, seniors, juniors. You need to bond for life. That helps you, and that helps to release a lot of good feelings in your body that will make you, because man is a social animal, you'll find that helping for you. Hobbies is also something I'll talk about. So define what works for you. I would urge you to read a nice book that we read, so many books to read. The less time that I have, I talk about one maybe, and that's the essence of it. Stephen Covey's book, 7 Habits of Highly Successful People. That's not important, the highly successful people. All the highly successful people are here on the dais, sitting in front of you and sitting in the first bench. Your parents, your well-wishers, they're all highly successful in their own right. You are also, having come over here to SRM, finished your basic education, you are also successful in your own right. You're a literate part of India. You're part of the next, your future, your India's future. And do remember that. But what about Stephen Covey's 7th habit? 7 habits. What I want to talk to you about, some of you may have read this book, is about the 4 quadrants. So I'll not talk much about it, just accepting for the fact he talks about 4 quadrants, and he mentions that most of us should find ourselves in the 2nd quadrant. And that 2nd quadrant is to do things that are important but not urgent. Most of the time we are finding ourselves in frivolous activities because that is something that is easy to do and gives us immediate kind of satisfaction. Quickly running endlessly to cafeteria, soullessly searching for the next WhatsApp message, what is happening on Facebook, what is happening on Instagram, what is my next tweet happening over here, what's happening in the world. You need to get away from that and find your balance. Endless email checks. So you need to be in that 2nd quadrant. The 2nd quadrant is important but not urgent. Your exams coming 3 months later, your research paper that you have to write that requires a lot of effort. So the deadline is not tomorrow, but if you plan for it on the last day, your research is going to be an apology. And you yourself will find, you yourself will not like that you are a product of this institution when you're producing something shabby for which you have not worked. So you need to do that. What are your career forms to be filled up? There's so many things that are important for which you need to find time. And the other quadrants, of course, is what I talked about, which you should not find too much time. Something may be urgent, a deadline to be met, something is suddenly come up, a crisis happening in whatever, that needs to be handled. But spend minimum time there and come back to the important. There was somebody who talked about a professor who was having his class, and in that class he brought a giant bottle. And in that bottle he filled up a lot of rocks. So the students were looking very closely with curiosity, what is this chap doing? So he filled up the big rocks. And the thing was filled. And he asked the student, is it filled? And he said, yes, it is filled. Then he put some small stones into it and it filled it. Is it filled? Yes, it is filled. Then they were suspicious what this chap is going to do next. So surely he did something next. He filled up the remaining space with sand. Fine sand from the beach. So all that was filled. Then he asked them, now you think it is filled? They were very suspicious. They said, I think it's filled, but what is the next trick that you have? So finally he filled it with water, and now it was filled. So he said, what is the moral of the story? So somebody got up and said, the moral of the story is when you think that you've got everything and done everything, you can still do some more. He said, no, that's not the moral of the story. The moral of the story is to declutter. The moral of the story is to fill the big rocks that matter to you. Your research, your exam, your studies, your future. And then the chit-chatting, this and that, distractions, small things here and there. If you have time for it, fill it. But don't forget the big rocks. The big rocks have to be filled in first, otherwise time and tide wait for no one and you will be left behind. So that is a very important lesson. As far as research is concerned, Vice Chancellor has told you so much of opportunity for research over here. And that is where I think this institution is so blessed. I've been privileged to be part of 2 research days over here, as I mentioned, and I saw great amount of effort being done and a lot of effort being recognized here on this platform where I'm standing. And kudos to the establishment for taking it to the next level. We all talk about the West, we all talk about other people doing research and how many patents do we have, how many research products do we have. I think India is coming up. You guys are Gen Next. You need to take it on your shoulders and do quality research. Do remember, we've got a lot of things that are easy to access today. You've got ChatGPT, you've got so many AI tools which professors talked about which may help you a lot. But you need to augment it, supplement it with your own rigorous research. Because ChatGPT will give you something at the click of a button. But to get that something, if you do your research, you may have to read 10 books to arrive at that one paragraph or that one page. And the 10 books will give you the answer to that question, plus will make your knowledge so much more further expansive that you will be surprised that the journey has been rewarding. So you need to do diligent research. The next thing I'd like to talk to you about is a very important thing of 3 things: reading, writing, and speaking. We've talked about it in passing, the professors also talked about it. I think these are the 3 most important things to a young student like you who are growing up in life and are coming of age. Read. This is an institution where you only have to do that. There's no other pressure on you. You don't have to run the world's problems on your shoulders. You don't have to handle what the government is doing, what we are doing, what professors are doing, running the whole institution. None of those worries are on your head. The only thing that you have to do is to study. The only thing that you have to do is to read. So do take this time to read. I think one of the most blessed times in my life was when I was a student. At that time we thought, when are we going to become adult and this studies is going to go away? The studies never went away. Because when I joined the army, I wanted to do my electrical engineering, so I joined the Corps of Engineers, so I did electrical engineering. After that, there was a certain crossroad and I had to do constantly promotion exams and exams to clear. Then I was moved into a direction in structureship. I had to do an MPhil from Madras University, another MPhil in Defence and Strategic Studies from Devi Ahilya University, and now I am pursuing a program over here in international relations. It is something that keeps me going. It is something that excites me. It is something that rejuvenates me. And it's something that should excite you as well. And that is why I find it very, very important. Even for my officer cadets, we have constituted a separate reading club and creative writing club among other clubs in OTA Chennai so that the cadets can also blossom in that endeavor. Writing is something that complements reading. Please remember, when you go in life, in corporate or wherever, you may not be seen. You may not have the advantage like me at the podium or professors here to sell yourself. But what you write and send will depict you, will define you. So how is your grammar? How is your articulation on paper? How is your composition of thought and speech? All that thing will immediately at a glance tell you whether you're a person of substance or worth or to be discarded, maybe unfairly. Maybe people may not know you, but what you've written, unfortunately, endures. So to get into that habit, reading and writing is complementary. The third thing that I would, so you can practice writing in a journal, you can do whatever, but please make notes, wide reading on your subject of choice and make it a habit. Third and most important thing, or equally important, is the ability to speak. This is something I find, unfortunately, sadly lacking in much of our society. We don't have a voice because we have not trained our voice. We don't have the confidence because we have not exposed ourselves to fear and momentary kind of consternation. What will happen? What is the maximum that can happen? Somebody will laugh at me. Somebody will put me down temporarily. Do remember, the person laughing at you may not have the courage himself to stand on the stage. There are lots of people who are there to cheer from the sideline or to put you down from the sideline. Never allow that to happen. And those who are putting you down, stay clear of them. Go with friends who support you. Go with your colleagues who will embrace you. Go with your buddies who will uphold you. and you will find yourself coming of age. You can start small. Speak in your class, some small thing that you've done. Speak in a group. Volunteer to be a student leader in a small capacity that you have. Cultural fests are coming up. Some other thing like this function is happening. Maybe there are some volunteers required to speak up and take so many fine people who are there organizing this. So you can come up and do that, and slowly and surely you'll find your confidence growing. Do remember, speaking is very, very important to be a leader. And this is also very important when you study over here and you're doing so much of study. What are you going to do with this study? At the end of it, if you're becoming an entrepreneur or you're becoming a corporate ladder, you're rising up, which you must and you will, then at some point of time you have to speak. At some point of time you have to influence. And at some point of time you have to lead. And to do that, you have to practice. So this is a lovely place for you to hone that skill set. Definitely, you need to be sincere, committed and diligent. And the results will surprise you. At this juncture, some of you may be finding the going tough at some point of time. Everybody does. There's a time that you feel, is it worth it? Am I doing correctly? So-and-so is doing better than me. I'm not at that level at the moment. What am I doing? How can I do better? I am reminded at this point of time of a wonderful speech that I had the privilege to listen to, and that is of the ace badminton player, PV Sindhu. Some of you may have seen that speech. She gave it at a convocation address in a similar college, but that was convocation. And what she said, I'll not go through a whole speech of 40 minutes, 3 words. Her 3 words were, just show up. And what is the meaning of just show up? She said, everybody recognizes me as PV Sindhu. I'm the ace badminton, I'm Olympic bronze medal, I'm this, I'm that. But many times I have not won. Many times I have been beaten. And many times when I'm beaten, I've been alone. When I'm winning, everybody is with me. When I'm alone, people are not coming to comfort me, excepting my parents, my father, others. But I did not allow it to put me down. The next day in the morning, I was back at the practice at the same stadium. I showed up. Just show up. Go through your routine. Something has happened, put it aside. Momentarily feel bad. You have to feel bad. But after that, put it out. Show up the next day and continue with your routine. And then you'll find yourself learning from these things and moving on. There's never something that you should be ashamed about. We can't win every day. We can't be the best every day. We can't top all the exams every day. There will be times when you're down. And what you need to do is to learn from those lessons. What has this thing taught me? What has this challenge taught me? Was I prepared? Not prepared? How can I do better? Just show up and things will be better. I think that is great. An important thing I also wanted to share with you, and this is very, very important for India, for us, for you. You are the next generation. Our time is passing. We have already spent many decades on this earth and in the country. And we believe very strongly in this country and in the future, which is you, all of you, the youth, the wonderful youth that we have represented by you here in SRM. I would urge each and every one of you to have a very high moral compass. You must have values, you must have ethics, you must have a very high set of principles, and you must have a very defining honor code, which you can define for yourself. One small thing I'd like to tell you in this, and I'll not labor on it much more because of less time, but we have separate kind of teaching on it for our officer cadets, because this is the most important thing that I have for my officer cadets. Whether you're leadership, I'll train you. Whether you have physical, I'll train you. But your ethics and morals and values, I hope you have it. I'll show you the way, but you should not let yourself down. What is the meaning of not letting yourself down? There are 2 things, 2 words. They are often misplaced with each other. One is reputation and the second is called character. You might have heard of these words. So what is reputation and character? You may build a very fine reputation in SRM as a scholar, as somebody who's topping everything, getting all the prizes, showing up everywhere. And therefore people will speak very highly of you. That is reputation. So you need to have a very high spoken reputation. Your resume is one part of it. Your spoken reputation, if somebody wants to hire you, somebody wants to invest in you, they will ask other people about you. Please remember this. You standing in the interview may be part of the story. But if somebody big is wanting to hire you, they will ask Vice Chancellor maybe, something very high. They will ask Pro Vice Chancellor, they will ask Dean, they will ask faculty. How was this boy and girl? How was it in your time? Did she perform well? How was the overall behavior? And you'll be surprised how much of information about you comes to people who are interviewing you, hiring you from your peers, your seniors, your faculty, and those who you are engaged with. So don't treat this lightly. As I tell to my officer cadets and my officers, wearing this uniform, whether I'm in the uniform or not in the uniform, we are 24/7 on parade. There is no off duty. 24/7 I'm on parade. Anything can happen day or night, I must be ready. So there's nothing I can switch off, switch on. No. And therefore, we are in a goldfish in a glass bottle. Constantly we are being watched, constantly being looked at. So it's part of our life. It should be part of your life. Your reputation. Always think, there will be temptation. There will be people trying to trick you and moving in a wrong direction. Don't get caught there. And if you can get caught there, try to not repeat it. In a minute, your reputation will be destroyed. If you're caught and your reputation, I am a drunkard, I am somebody who is only shirking, I am a bunker in my classes, I am somebody who cannot be trusted, that reputation is a very spoiler reputation. So avoid that like the plague. Don't get ever into that. Build your reputation now. And the second thing that I told you in complementary to that is character. Character is something not seen. Character is inside you. Character defines you. Character is the man in the mirror, which is yourself. So reputation others are seeing. Character is what you know about yourself. Your shown portion to others is reputation. Character maybe others are not seeing, but it's your own intrinsic worth which you know yourself. So you cannot fool yourself. So both character and reputation, if they are aligned, you will be a happy person. If they are not aligned, there will be something that will cause you disease and distress. So try to have it balanced. Few thoughts I'd like to finally share. I very much believe in this business of leadership, as I talked about it. As a student, focus yourself on the studies and leadership. So in your process as you're going, and you need not be in armed forces to be a leader, as I talked a lot about it. A leader is somebody who followers will willingly want to do what he sets them to do. Why should somebody follow a leader? Why should anybody follow anybody? The reason is simple. If a leader has a vision and if a leader has a very clear-cut, definable, tangible goals which are time-bound, the follower will follow him. Nobody wants to follow somebody who has no vision, no thought, no foresight, no goal setting, no nothing. So today, when you are there in your college, I talked to you about schedules, I talked to you about having a timetable, maybe I talked about having a routine. All these things are your goals in life. Your goals in life will help you to define yourself, what you stand for. And later when you get into career, those goals will set for your team. Those goals will set for your entrepreneur, your fledgling startup, maybe something else, maybe army when you're joining us. Then people will follow you because they know that here's a person who knows what he or she is speaking. And do remember one small thing I'll tell you today, but you may remember it years later. A leader does not take privileges. A leader gives privileges to others. You have to be in the rain if your team is in the rain. You cannot be under umbrella. Lots of people will come to put umbrella on you and their boys are in the rain. You have to push that fellow aside and be in the rain. Lots of fellows will come to feed you with the most sumptuous of food and they find the team is not eating. So you have to check, have they eaten? Then only you have to eat. You have to be last when your boys are out in the cold, your team. So this is something very important. Why am I saying this? Is because today we're in a materialistic world, we're in a commercialized kind of a situation and everybody does lip service as far as team building is concerned, bonding is concerned. Do remember one thing, why should the team be invested in you if you have no concern for them? So as far as armed forces is concerned, it's a holistic kind of a thing. If my boys are there in the field in Kargil or in Arunachal or Assam, the families back home are cared for in totality. Our families, our wives, our others who are here, will look after them because we have a set structure, we believe in it. They have to be happy only when the family is happy. We can be happy and we can push them to do whatever is required on the border only because the family is secure, children are being educated, there is no tension at home. So that has to be very important. So see how it translates to you. If everybody is coming home waiting for pink slip, what kind of a loyalty will it generate? What kind of a bonding will it generate? What kind of a feel-good factor it will generate? So you must see it for yourself, how you want to build your team and how you want to take it forward. So we need to have a hobby for life, bottom line. Hobby for life means what? If you didn't have it till now, do have it from now. So all parents, they may have given you a hobby already, great for you. If they haven't, because the other things were pressing, do cultivate a hobby that will help you for life. Tomorrow when you're in the field, when you're working, studying, whatever, and you're there in your job, There'll be lots of stress, lots of anxiety, lots of other things happening about. But you just have to retreat into your room, do some small painting like this wonderful painting, play the guitar, sing something, take some photography, do whatever. That hobby should help you to find your balance.